だか見捨てないでください。
ああ、生活に慣れたらこんな感じの家がいいとか要望を聞くから心配しなくても追い出したりしないさ。男性の移住者は？はい、
3人お連れしました。若い男性とのことでしたので。
おお、いや待て、5年後10年後になればあるいは。
Yo, this episode was hilarious. So our boy Machio we're gonna talk through all the different diplomatic trades, systems, partnerships that he made. But yo, the Howling Village, the Beast folks, they apologized to Machio for not bringing him any gifts. And they were like, we're really poor, we can't really afford to send you anything. He's like, no, it's the thought that counts. The head of the Howling Village guy sends Machio 20 women instead. You know, when you come to the Great Tree Village, whatever, you easily put 2 and 2 together where you see Machio here surrounded by, at this point, what, like 100 different women of different races? So they're like, oh, let's add, a couple dozen to the mix here. Here you go, buddy. It's the thought that counts. Here's 20 women. I was dying just when they showed up. And then they showed up ready, willing, and they're like, use us as you will, just don't abandon us. I was like, oh my gosh, what kind of thoughts did the Beast Village dude put in their heads, man? This episode, though, like, it had me gleaming from cheek to cheek. Like, my cheekbones hurt from just laughing and smiling this episode. It was just so, so good. But that, I could not get over. And then he makes a deal with them. He's like, okay, if you send me just, like, two dudes, send me 2 dudes over here. Send me 2 young men with you, and I'll agree to take the ladies. And so they send them 3, but then they send them 3 children. They sent them 3 young boys. They must be like 10 years old. And the elves were already like claiming. They're like, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take that one. I'm like, oh my God. Yo, these boys are about to live the good life. You know what I mean? Like, so good. Even Machio at this point, it's kind of just a gag at this point of the way that they decided to write him. Several of you guys have told me in the comments, in the actual source material, he's not this dense, and he does repopulate, and it happens way early on when Lucy and Tia get there. For some reason, the anime has decided to make him dense and dumb and act like he's just this, 40-year-old virgin guy. Which isn't the case, and it's pretty frustrating, but at this point I've kind of let it go and just let it be a running gag, because he's like, oh, we have a men shortage. What are we going to do about repopulating the future? It's you, bro. It's you. You know what I mean? Get some magical Viagra and get to effing work, bro. So I just thought that was hilarious. The rest of the episode was absolute gold as well. So immediately, we pick up where we got left off on last week. Years have passed. His harem is large. The Demon King sends a messenger to him because the Demon King and the Demon King's army, like, they are worried about this dude, right? Like, he just took on a wyvern single-handedly. So they send a messenger. And long story short, he immediately works out a deal with him of like, oh, okay, don't worry, we'll pay not reparations, we'll pay taxes, we'll give you guys 10% of our goods, come pick it up every winter, blah blah blah. And the dude just, the messenger guy just agreed. We find out later he agreed because the Angel of Annihilation, Tia, Lucy, the great sage, was there. He was guided to Machio with 3 battle angels, so he was afraid for his life. Man shit his pants. He was shitting bricks. So he agreed immediately to all of their things, because they're like, if I say no to whatever he brings up, these guys will annihilate the nation. So he agrees, and we find out later on that normal reparations, or I keep saying normal taxes that people pay or nations pay, or, that are under the Demon King's umbrella, typically pay 50 to 60% of their shit. And he only has to pay 10%. And on top of that, the guy was just thrown for a loop because Machio, he's like, okay, we're under the Demon King's protection now. And he's like, they don't need our protection. We need their protection. But he's like, I agreed because he's like, again, this dude was like shitty bricks. So I thought that was just absolute. It was just gold, man. It was just so funny. And then you have one of the other guys on the Demon King's board of whatever generals. He's like, I quit, I resign. I'm gonna go off to an island somewhere. I was like, no, not another one. Then the episode continues on. We find out that the spider in the village. Damn, what's the God damn it. What's the spider's name? Damn, what's the spider's name? I had it, guys. I'm so sorry. I had it and I lost it. I had it and I lost it. But we find out that the spider in the show is actually a demon spider, and is one of the leading demon spiders ever. And apparently, one of the spiders in the past basically brought the demon lord, or one of the past demon lords, to a standstill. So our resident spider over here is so strong that they brought one of the demon lords to a standstill. So that's kind of what they're dealing with. They're dealing with this mental gymnastics of dealing with somebody who has tamed not only the infernal wolves, but has tamed a spider that could rival the demon lord. And she's just chilling in the village, you know what I mean? She's like best buds with Machio. So I just thought that was hilarious as well. And the way that they found that out was because he provided them a gift, and he provided them clothing, or maybe it was blankets or something that was woven from the demon spider. I thought that was hilarious. Then we also get another diplomat visiting. The ruler of the dragons came. We saw him earlier on. We find out that he can, in fact, take a human form. But he basically came and just said, I am under your tutelage now. I am under you now. So now the ruler of the dragons comes for frequent visits, and he's motivated by wine. He's a drinker. So he's been having a great time, so much so that he even agreed to just take them to and from once a month to the Howling Village or whatever. However, whatever their cadence is, however, how many times they go, he agreed that he'll take them to and from the Howling Village. Just give them some wine, get them drunked up. But we find out that he's now he has a partnership not only with the Demon King or the Demon Lord, but he has a partnership now with the Howling Village, and now he has a partnership with Drime, the ancient top dragon guy. And he was like, I just want to come live here. So he frequents there now because he's like, I just want to come live here. But his underlings like, you can't live here, bro. Like our people will revolt. So anyways, this episode, I'm telling you, it was absolute gold. It was absolute hilarious. It was just such a really, really good show. And like this brought it back. Obviously the one thing I don't like is the lack of intimacy that Machio has, but is not showed in the anime. Again, we don't need to show, just hinted at. But eventually he's got to start repopulating the world. The first baby got to come out sometime. So hopefully we get the first baby before the anime season ends. Also, the spider's called Zabuton. So Zabuton the spider can rival a demon lord themselves, which is crazy. All right, my friends. Fantastic episode. This 10 out of 10 episode. This episode was great. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next week for episode